Wait, why did you want me to turn it down in the first place?
Just a little bit.
Oh, I thought you meant like a
Yeah, I
fade
mean
in.
like a slowly fade out kind of thing. Unless you wanted to fade into something else.
No, I thought.
It's just fine.
All right, what's up, everybody? All right, wait. In order to do an intro, so we're called the Combo Combats.
Combo Combat. Let's not put the S in there. That sounds weird.
Combo Combat. All right.
Tentative name.
Combo
Yes.
Combaters.
Yeah, something like that.
Combo combaters.
Combo Combat. All right.
Definitely.
Knockouts.
Okay, that's cool.
What up, guys? Welcome to Combo Combat. Nice little show we're getting together. Talk about your greatest combat sports, what's new and what's coming up for the boxing, MMA, UFC, kickboxing world. Here, Bobby D is here with Chasen Palick
Hey.
and Justin Chen.
How you doing?
How we doing, guys?
Pretty
I'm
good,
great.
pretty good.
How are you?
Just give a little intro of what we're doing here. Now, just getting a feel out of podcast. So,
Podcasting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna be talking to you guys about boxing, about MMA, UFC, some bullshitting going around here and there. We like to spar and grapple ourselves, so tell you guys the latest, about our own little fights that we get into here. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Hope y'all tune in. Time and time again. Well, let's get to it. So we'll start with the Fury versus Wilder fight. What are your thoughts, Bobby?
I mean, that was an interesting fight. I was really looking forward to it, as were a lot of people. Happened this last weekend, December 1st. It had a sold-out venue, guys, if you knew that. I didn't expect it to sell out.
I mean, I heard about it like everywhere before it happened.
Right,
So
yeah, it was
I kind of
promoted
expected- yeah.
pretty well, but for the staples to get sold out for a boxing event, that was pretty impressive to me. Talked to one of the guys that works for the promotion and stuff, and they said that a lot of the tickets sold were walk-ups, so it was good for them. Box office was popping. But as for the fight itself, I was really surprised as how Fury came out and fought. I mean, he didn't really come out timid or anything. He came out wanting to find his distance, show Wilder that he was coming to take the fight to him. Surprised a lot of people. I do think that people overhyped the outcome of the fight. I have been hearing that, the fight was amazing, like it was a good fight, had its moments and stuff like that, but it wasn't like what it lived up, what it should have lived up to, With that being said, I do think it was a robbery. We're looking at the scorecards right here. Chasen brought it up earlier, how Alejandro Rochin was a little loaded, you think?
Well, obviously the other two judges, they're scoring Wilder for 9s in the first couple rounds, and he has them as 10s.
All right.
And just from watching the fight, I didn't really see anything significant land, and it looked like Fury was outclassing him.
Right.
Yeah, so
I mean,
I don't really...
What Wilder was doing, he was throwing a single jab throughout the whole fight, trying to distance and kind of time his fucking right hand. And Fury knew that was going to happen the whole fight. So instead of doing a straight right hand, he was doing an overhand right. And all Fury had to do was duck down and kind of smother Wilder. I mean, Wilder didn't adapt or evolve to Fury's game plan and kept doing that throughout 9 rounds. And the other two, Robert Tapper and Phil Edwards, they both had the score right, I feel. Wilder just didn't show what it was to be a champion, Fury came out and took it to him. He I mean, pretty much outclassed him, outboxed him like Fury normally does.
And sorry, but what
No,
about the random 8-10 round as well in the ninth round from Alejandro?
well, that was a knockdown.
But oh, they have it. Oh, my bad. Sorry.
No, yeah, yeah. That was the first knockdown. I mean, it was a knockdown for sure. There was a punch, but nothing like, oh wow, like Wilder knocked his ass out like the 12th round knockdown. Now that was a very significant knockdown for Wilder, but do I feel that it made him win the fight or even tie it as a draw like it was a split decision? I don't know. Props to Fury for getting up. That was amazing by him. He posted on or his Twitter. It was pretty funny, or not funny. It was motivating. He said for anyone that's ever had like mental illnesses or anything, if you've ever been down in your life, this proves that you can always get up. Because that guy got up like the Undertaker, man. And I mean,
Yeah, that was insane.
yeah.
Clip I saw of that.
So props to Fury. He came out to Wilder's home like country and brought the fight to him. The people know who won, I feel. And honestly, I think that they gave the WBO and the judges scored the fight like this in order to set up future bouts. You know, you have Anthony Joshua waiting for Wilder on the other side of the pond now. Where the fight is going to be, whether it's going to be on that side or over here, it's up to the promotions. It's been a back and forth battle about money between the two. They both say they'll fight each other whenever, wherever, but always money gets in the problem. So should be interesting whether Wilder is going to choose to go with a direct rematch with Fury or if he's going to choose Anthony Joshua. Personally, I want him to fight Anthony Joshua because I think Joshua will just clean his plate. And that's my opinion. Because if Wilder had so much trouble with a boxer like Fury, then a boxer like Anthony Joshua that's younger, faster, more explosive would just end Wilder, to be honest.
Definitely agree.
Right? But then at the same time, I've also seen talks about a fight between Wilder and Joshua to, see who's the champion of the UK. It's finalized that battle that they have over there in that inner domestic battle. Also to find out who's the best boxing heavyweight in time, like modern time right now, because both of them have not a same style, but they have their way of boxing. Fury with his kind of elasive way of moving around, head movement, not being able to, the Gypsy King. You can't hit what you can't see, bro.
Yeah.
So that's definitely his way of going about fights. Joshua, you see more of explosive speed, kind of breaks down his opponent, which is always fun to see. And you got Joshua's great promotion of bringing him up into fights, like the stage production and all that is always fun for Joshua fights, especially since it's out in the UK. You got that great ambient
crowd.
Yeah, environment and everything. So it's always fun with Joshua fights. So, any other thoughts on you guys on this Wilder Fury fight?
Not much for me. I guess one thing I heard was some people weren't giving Deontay Wilder enough credit or something. They said something like the only rounds he won was 9 and 12, and I mean
those were because of his knockdowns.
Yeah, and basically in the other rounds he just got outclassed, right?
Pretty much, like he had his couple rounds where like he was on the front foot, landed his shots, but for the most part, Fury was dictating what was gonna happen in the fight. Like he was gonna choose when he was gonna let Wilder land that right or not, pretty much. And it was cool to see. I mean, I used to be not close, but I met Wilder myself, and his arms are giant. It was 5 of me and my buddies took a picture with him, and his arm span was able to cover all 5 of us. It was insane.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's a cool dude, that guy. Fury, hope to see more from him. I mean, that was an awesome comeback.
How old is Tyson Fury?
Tyson Fury, I want to say is like 38.
Yeah.
I want to say he's like 38.
Nice. He can still fight.
But it's been 2 or 3 years since he's been back in the ring. Before this fight, he had a couple tune-up fights in the beginning of this year, but nothing like this
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
one right here. It was kind of like to help him out, brush some rust off.
Yeah.
So, in other boxing news, we got Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding coming up December 15th at Madison Square Garden in New York. Fun fight. I've been following all of Canelo's career pretty much. Been to plenty of his fights. They're always great to see. I think the first fight that I went to see him live was Matthew Hatton versus Canelo at the Anaheim Stadium, the Honda Stadium,
Yeah.
Honda Center. That was awesome. I was front row that fight, and Canelo gets Matthew with like an uppercut, and blood goes flying out and gets on my suit, the pants of my suit, and I was like, oh no, but then I was like, oh yeah. So that was fun, but this fight, it kind of historical for the Mexican. Going up to 168 after beating Gennady Golovkin right now in September, already coming back, since he wasn't able to fight in May because of his suspension, controversial suspension. He wasn't able to fight in May, so he did want to have a second fight this year. So he was able to get back in the gym and moving up in weight. If he does win this fight, he now coronates the 154, 160, and 168 welterweight class. So he'll be one of 3 boxing Mexicans to do this. So that's awesome for him. Hopefully he does it, pulls it off. That fight's going to be available on DAZN, monthly subscriptions. You said Bellator has fights on there too, right?
Yeah, and a couple other things. I think WEC and some wrestling.
Right.
Wrestling
Yeah.
organizations. Yeah.
No, they definitely do. That's
Yeah.
right. I saw that DAZN has Copa Combate coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that too actually.
That looks really good. I saw a couple fighters on there that caught my eye. But back to this Canelo Fielding fight. They've been doing a really good job promoting it. I heard that when we were at the Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell fight, I was talking to one of the guys from the forum, and they said that for not all of the promotional videos that the DAZN has for the fight and for Canelo, but the ones that you've seen with Michael Buffer and Canelo in the ring and whatnot, those have been at the forum, and they did a series of different promotional videos, and it costs $100,000 for them to rent out the forum for that night to get those videos. So they've been putting in chip,
Yeah.
So good for them. He deserves it. I mean, he's a great fighter, future of Mexican boxing.
Yeah,
so
definitely represents Mexico really well.
yeah. And we're seeing right here the height difference between Fielding and Canelo, and it's a big one. Canelo isn't used to. He's never fought someone this tall. Going up in weight, it's a new challenge for him. Always looking to, achieve an obstacle. Fielding, we saw highlight reel of him, and he's
pressuring fighter.
very pressuring
Likes
fighter.
to use his range.
Exactly.
Good body shots.
We saw a bunch
Pretty
of those body
insane power
shots. Oh.
for someone his size. That was
Not really heard of here in the States, but has his name out there in the UK, across the pond, as he is the 168-pound welterweight champion. So should be a fun fight since he's so going forward, pressuring so much. Canelo's a very good counter puncher. We didn't see that much in the last fight against Golovkin, as he came out and brought the fight to him. I don't think he took one step backwards the whole fight. He just kept going forward. Whereas in the first fight against Golovkin, he kind of, tried doing the pretty counter punching and stuff. He got kind of knocked for it, that he was running and whatnot. So you know what? He said that I could beat him boxing, so now I'll come out and beat him in his own game, walking forward and whatnot. And it was a close fight. Definitely, I think whoever won that last round won the fight. So props to both of them. Hopefully, we could see a third one in the future.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, is that it for the Canelo?
Yeah, I'm pretty good on the Canelo, man. I'll give you guys the latest and greatest. I'm actually heading out to New York next Wednesday to attend this fight as well. So hopefully I could get some interview with Canelo or something, undercard fighters.
That'd be great.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
Tune in, hear some more of that. What do we got next? UFC 231.
Alright, UFC 231 coming up December 8th, this Saturday, right?
That is, yep.
Saturday. Okay.
Boom, 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 boom.
Okay. So this is a pretty stacked card. I really like most of the fights on this card. We'll be covering the prelims, starting with the prelims. So let's see. Elias Theodoro versus Eric Anders. We have here Elias Theodoro, not very technical fighter. I think he's got very good clinch work. He likes to throw a lot of offense in the clinch, throw a lot of knees, hooks and hooks over the guard and uppercuts inside the clinch, but he doesn't seem to be able to get out of those clinch positions very easily. Whenever he does engage into one of those situations, he seems to get stuck. And Eric Anders, what do you got in Eric Anders?
Well, Eric Anders we've seen at middleweight, but most recently at 205 on a short notice bout, which did not work out for him. But that was
impressive performance, though.
But
I thought he put on a really good performance.
Honestly, he looks a lot better at 185. We'll see in this fight. I have a feeling with Theodoro, he can't avoid getting into those clinch situations, and I think Eric Anders' overall grappling and strength will get him the win for sure, if not by knockout at some point.
I got Theodoro as he's got a sick mane, man. Does he fight with that thing down, or does he tie that thing up?
I mean, he's got the classic stoner mane, He smokes a lot of weeds.
Bro, we got to get him in here, man. Bowls with the boys.
Bowls with the boys.
From Canada.
4 bowls for 4 bros.
But Eric Anders' last fight ended head kick knockout.
He got...
No, he knocked him
Oh,
out.
I was like, damn, bro, he got slept.
Yeah, and Elias does lead. He leaves his guard open to strikes over the top a lot, and
His
I think
stand-up,
it's
yeah.
I think it's likely he might get caught over the guard with a head kick. So
It's all good, man. He's got that mane to protect him. It's like padding.
Anders has good boxing too, as well.
Yeah.
Much more coordinated and crisp compared to his opponent.
Neither of them really like to throw a lot of kicks, really. They're mostly boxing based until it gets into the clinch. At least from what
How's
I've
Anders
seen.
on the ground?
He's a good wrestler.
Yeah, great wrestler. Elias though,
He mixes it up good on stand up as well.
yeah, but against it in the Santos fight that just happened recently, yeah, he was mostly throwing hands. I felt like Santos was mixing it up a lot more, and I feel like under pressure he's not able to get his combinations out as easily.
But I think he'll learn from the loss, and that was a crazy fight for him.
Yeah,
So.
I mean,
I got
Eric
Santos
Anders
is fighting on this
out of the way.
card. We're gonna cover him later.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a beast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Santos is pretty insane.
I think he's found his
That
home
guy's
at 205.
crazy.
Now let me ask you, Travis. What kind of fighters are they? So are they like wrestlers, kickboxers,
They both
jiu-jitsu?
started MMA late in their lives, so they're pretty much
Elias,
just fighters.
Theodoro, what was it, 21? He started
21.
21, yeah. 14-0 kickboxing, and then he moved to MMA after.
Eric Anders played college football. He didn't start till after, so he was in his
Yeah.
20s as well.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, both athletes, both very, very ripped human
Good deal.
beings.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Alright.
I got Eric Anders though. I think he's just gonna outpressure him. He won't be able to handle the pressure and the power that Eric Anders brings.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Same thing.
All right. So Caitlin Chukagian versus Jessica.
All right.
So Caitlin Chukagian, mostly boxing-based fighting style. She
Comes
I
out
think-
to bang.
Yeah, I think
No,
she's
she's very technical.
one of
Oh,
the
really?
Yeah, technical.
Well, dude, let me tell you, the one times I've seen, or like the few times I've seen, like when we've been watching UFC and we've seen girl fights, and even at the forum a couple weeks ago for the Liddell Ortiz, the amateur girl fights that they had, they throw down.
Oh yeah, girls get down, man. They're no different from guys.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're no. I'm telling you, one of the girl
It's a high
fights.
level fight at
One of the girl fights was my favorite fight of the night. Like,
Yeah.
it was almost scary. Like, I would not want to be in a relationship or anything with her. You know, not down. I didn't put the towels in the dryer. My bad.
Yeah,
Fucking
you really
armbar
see
me.
I feel like you rarely see a girl fight go. I mean, not go the full distance unless it's finished by submission, though. You know, so
But this
they're
one, this is
probably-
Because they don't have that much. You
yeah,
know.
they're able to stand in there and bang a lot more. But
We could see
obviously,
a
you
finish
still
in
need
this.
the heart and all that. And,
Right.
But both these girls are very, very powerful strikers.
Yeah, they have good.
Caitlin, one of the tallest. I think she's like the tallest besides Megan Anderson, right? Megan Anderson's like 6 feet tall. She's like insane.
Dang.
there's a lot of
But
girls that are
yeah,
good.
she has I think the longest reach besides Megan. No. There's what was her name? The Korean girl with the
Oh,
fire
yeah.
fist or something. Yeah.
Kim
But yeah,
Young.
she's I think the tallest girl besides Megan Anderson in the whole division. So
You know, I just noticed this right now. I like how they get the leg reach as a stat.
yeah.
Oh, she has long legs.
Yeah,
yeah.
bro. That's
But-
crazy.
5'9". She really likes to impose her reach. So I think
I wish they would have done that for like fucking Wilder and Fury, you know?
Yeah.
Wilder's or Fury's legs must be like
They
huge
should
because
do
that
that
guy's
for boxing too.
that guy's an awkward looking guy. He's got a small little torso, long old
Yeah,
legs.
he reminds me of a cartoon character. I can't remember.
Oh, the one with the pants super high
yeah,
up.
Yeah,
I know
you
you're
know
talking
who I'm
about.
talking
Yeah, I don't
about,
know.
right?
Yeah, I can't remember the name either. Oh, I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
wow.
like bald. Totally
Yeah.
got the whole like. Okay. Back to the fight.
Right.
So Jessica, I really like. I think she usually just likes to set up her jab and look for that straight right. Very fast, crazy straight right down the middle. It's very accurate. But Caitlin Chukagian.
Chukagian.
Yeah, we're gonna say that.
Chukagian.
Okay.
Chukagian.
Well, she
Chukagian.
really likes to use her reach,
Chukagian.
and she'll lean
Chukagian.
back and throw this really wide. It's like she almost extends her arm completely and throws like a really wide hook, and she puts a lot of power behind it, and she usually gets right out of range of the straight right of her opponents and lands that hook like over and over. So I think that's gonna be a key factor in this fight. I think.
And that's for eye or Chukagian?
Chukagian.
Okay, so
Yeah.
eyes got to kind of, have that jab ready to kind of throw off that.
Well,
that hook.
Caitlyn has real good movement. I think she'll be out on her bike, like moving around the ring.
Yeah, and Jessica Eyes she likes to kind of walk forward and just kind of walk down her opponents and chase them down, and I think that's really just playing into Chukagian's game. That's how
I feel
most
like it
of her
could
fights
work,
go.
though.
I mean, yeah, if she can impose her game, which is probably just trying to land that overhand right.
Have
In my
any
opinion,
have any of them had their like chance with any of the bigger
Yeah.
champions or anything?
yeah,
Um,
Chukagian came down from 135, right?
No, she just fought a girl from 135. That her last fight. She beat her by decision. I can't remember
Yeah,
the name of the other chick.
Right on, right on.
Something Alexis or
Yeah.
Alexa or something.
I don't know how long Chukagan's been fighting for.
I
Long
think she's
enough.
been fighting. She was undefeated, I think, before coming in the UFC, and she had one loss in the UFC. So
Cut.
No.
Cut.
So, yeah, I think Chukagan will be able to impose her game, like moving laterally. She's really good lateral movement and really good at just stepping back and leaning back and countering. So, I think that's gonna be a big part of the match, and I got Chukagan for this fight.
Grappling.
I have
Chukagan has 0.
Well,
Or they
these
just don't
stats
have the
make
stats.
sense,
Yeah, I mean, they basically, both these girls basically just like to
Bang.
stand and bang, so.
All right, I feel like I have Chukagan as well, but I think Jessica I has a lot of experience and
It looks like it. There looks to
Yeah,
be
she's
a pretty
Anything
big
can happen.
age
For a while.
difference.
yeah. But I'm taking Chukagan as well.
Alright, so on to the next one.
No.
Armenia. Where are these fights gonna be at?
Toronto?
Toronto,
In
Canada.
6, bro.
Alright, Claudia Gadelia versus Nina Ansaroff.
I feel like we could get through this one.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Nina Ansaroff she's a Taekwondo fighter, right? I think
Yeah,
she's
she
Taekwondo
is.
based. She's good at using her side kicks and dynamic kicks. But Claudia Gadelia is really grappling heavy. She's a really like wrestling heavy fighter. I think if she can basically cancel out her kicks or Nina Ansaroff's kicks and shut down her game,
It's a big
the fight will basically go her way.
leg reach difference right there that they got.
Yeah.
7-inch difference, 39 inches for Nina Ansaroff, and 32 inches for Claudia Gadelia.
Yeah, she's got the big wrestling body.
Claudia though is a very good MMA fighter. Like in her past couple fights, like
She looks
top
pretty
form.
scary.
She's gonna mix it
she's
up.
been working on her striking a lot
she's gonna
too.
mix it up.
She
and
looks
Yeah.
Brazilian. Oh, she is. I
I
just
think
saw
she's
that.
gonna run away with this fight if she doesn't get the finish. She's gonna dominate.
Yeah, I got it on a first round finish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
too.
got Claudia.
Claudia's looked really, really good in
Recently,
her.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, striking's amazing.
What's her record? Do you
Grappling's
guys happen to know?
Hey, if
Uh,
anything, pull up her recent fights. Let's see who they were against.
I feel like you could just click her.
amazing. It'll show all the records.
Gonna go have some brews and watch this fight, bro.
Sounds pretty chill.
Just shake your head at me and say no, man.
I'm not.
Carla Esparza, that was her last one.
Yeah, Carla Esparza. She looked really good.
Was that the fight that? No, that was a different fight. Who's the other Brazilian girl with insane power?
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh is crazy.
Oh, that knockout, man. That knockout was
Yeah, that was brutal.
brutal, even for like a women's division.
Yeah.
Especially for the women's division, that was crazy. Anyways,
Yeah.
Saying they can't have brutal knockouts talk? No, I'm just kidding.
for a 115 pound
wait.
division,
Let's get to this fight right here.
This one right here.
This
So,
fight here.
There's no way this fight is going till the end. I can tell you that right now.
If it does, it's because of some bullshit.
Yeah, both these fighters throw everything with intent to knock the other guy out. So there's just no way this fight will go to the finish.
And who's both of these guys?
Jimmy Manuwa, Thiago Santos.
Manua coming off of a loss, looking hungry. So this is gonna be good. Santos is not gonna want to give up his.
Jimmy
win.
Manuwa has taken a good amount of punishment in his career. I feel like he won't be able to take shots as well, considering his last couple fights.
Well, that's a
Was it his
problem
last couple
because
fights? He got
Santos gives shots.
The the Alexander Gustafsson finished him, and then
he was stunned by Jan Blachowicz, right?
that was his most
Yeah,
recent fight.
who isn't even really known for his punching power, although he did stun. Who was it, Mark Hunt?
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, there was another
What's you guys know
another
this?
knockout artist he fought recently.
Y'all know the story behind his nickname, Poster Boy.
I don't do tell.
No, I was hoping you guys. I'm gonna look this up. Don't worry, I
We'll
got
work
you.
on that.
Yeah.
I feel like Santos found a new home at 205. Like he moves well, and he has the power. I think that he's gonna do well in this division.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good fight for him to leapfrog up the rankings.
Hmm. So Jimmy Manuel does have the reach advantage, but I do feel like Santos uses his reach a lot better. He's a very long fighter. Really likes to use his kicks, and kicks the body, leg kicks, and he throws more. I feel like he throws more straight punches down the middle, whereas Jimmy Manuel is more of like a wild haymaker throwing really wide hooks. I mean, he does have his
Power
like
shots.
insane deadly left hook that doesn't even, as long as it lands, you're probably going out. It's like one of those punches, like the touch of death. But I feel like Santos uses his reach a lot better. He has much better and faster footwork, and I feel like he'll move around and be able to, basically just piece up Jimmy Manuel.
I think as well on fight night we'll see that these measurements aren't always that accurate. I think he's gonna look physically a lot longer
Yeah.
and stuff. Like he's probably has longer limbs.
Yeah, and Jimmy Manuel is also mostly a boxing fighter, right? He's more boxing, doesn't really throw much kicks,
Yeah.
and I feel like if the Santos really focuses on using his kicks, he'll basically just shut down the game of Jimmy Manuel, unless he gets cracked with that left hook, of course. That thing is insane.
Interesting like backtrack on Jimmy Manuel. His real name being Baba Jimmy Abiola Manua. He's born in Sacramento, California, but fights out of London. He's a UK based heavyweight. Wow, very cool, very cool. Still looking for that explanation on the poster boy.
You wanna?
I feel like most of these nicknames just get given to them by like their coworkers or
Well-
family members, and it just kind of sticks.
The definition of like poster boy would be a man who epitomizes or represents a specified quality. So maybe he's just like a knockout artist, and that's what he represents.
That's a lot of guys.
Dawood.
Alright, so Hakeem Dawodu
Dawodu.
versus Kyle Bochniak.
I
What
got
do you got on these
Bochniak.
guys?
I got Bochniak. Straight and
Bochniak,
simple.
feel like he has good boxing, but he relies really like on blitzing with hooks. So this Dawodu,
Dawodu?
Dawodu
We could just
has
call
had
him
2
Hakeem.
fights. He got finished real fast in his fight with some guy from Scotland.
Danny something.
Danny Henry.
Yeah.
He got caught with the right hand and got submitted by a guillotine choke.
That was. Does he have a glass chin then? Because that wasn't a significant right hand for me.
I don't
Well,
know, but
And I feel
that
like
right hand looked like it was coming in pretty
It's-
fit.
I
yeah,
think
it was
it's bad
it
to
was
get-
coming in hot for sure.
I think it's bad to get caught too when you're fresh and stuff. You're not
Yeah.
even in the fight. Like it
Yeah,
just
you're
probably
not
stunned
really
him. Like he-
Adrenaline hasn't really
Yeah.
started pumping yet.
And I mean the way
It's
that
his debut.
Bochniak comes out and fights, like we saw his fight, and he was insane. He was a monster. He put his hands down and literally invited them. What was his opponent's name?
Zabit.
It was Zabit. I
Magomed
forget.
Sharapov.
Yes, it was Zabit, of course. He invited Zabit
The
to
goat,
just pound
bro.
on him. Yes.
Yeah. So
And it was awesome.
Yeah,
This is
I
a good
think-
fan friendly fight.
I think Kyle Bochniak pressures. I mean, they're both pressuring fighters, I
Mm-hmm.
think, but I think Kyle Bochniak pressures a lot harder.
Dawodu would definitely be having to be pressuring as he's going to be in his home of Canada.
I mean, he can try, but I don't know against Kyle Bochniak.
Right.
I think we're gonna get to see him showcase his wrestling too in this fight.
Yeah.
But I
Bochniak.
mean,
I haven't seen much wrestling from Hakeem, but I've seen Kyle Bochniak, who's pretty good at pressuring against the cage. the kind of
See, I think
grind.
I think he's gonna get a good amount of takedowns.
Yeah, I think Boshniak is just gonna handle this fight either way, either on the feet or on the ground. Coming off of a loss, also, he's gonna want to prove himself that that loss either helped him learn stuff or just shrugged it off.
Yeah, definitely. And let's look at the stats here. So takedown defense 100% from Hakeem, but I mean there haven't been that many takedowns attempted on him.
I mean, I don't know about that. He
Josh,
got
that Arnett guy was.
he
He
wasn't.
only tried like a couple takedowns too.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
the
his
one-
other fight, he just got laid out.
I was about to
Mhm.
say, yeah, like he did get taken down that fight. That was 100% taken down.
Yeah, so
Oh,
Shut down.
Scotland for the win. Oh.
Yeah. So
the
I
numbers do not back up my statement, but
think. Yeah.
we will have a post-event show as well. So
Yeah. Check back on that. We'll let you know how it goes. We'll
Tune
be
in for
discussing-
free.
Discussing what happened in the fights. And the next one, Alex Oliveira versus Gunnar Nelson. They both have a pretty heavy karate background, I feel like. But I also feel that Gunnar Nelson,
Wait. Like karate.
like karate,
All right.
like what we do in the garage, my
Right,
friend.
right, yeah.
So I feel like Gunnar Nelson is better technically in most departments, like on the ground and in the striking. I feel like he's a lot more technical.
Is this his like debut in the UFC?
No, he's coming off
Who?
a
Would,
I don't know, Gunnar Nelson.
I think he hasn't fought.
He took
in,
a
like,
break for
long
like a
time.
year,
He
couple
got he
years.
had an injury.
Yeah, he coming off an injury. That's what I was looking for.
So why do they still not have his last fight posted?
They just recently updated the site. I think maybe they
Yeah.
just didn't have his stats or something. But
Unprepared UFC,
I
unprepared.
think we'll
I'm gonna write
see-
them a letter.
I don't like how the measurements aren't always right because I think we're gonna see on fight night that
yeah, and I
Oliveira's
often
taller.
think the heights are wrong too.
Oliveira's gonna be taller. Watch.
Yeah,
And it says they're the same.
but ultimately, I still feel like Gunnar Nelson's he's gonna be really patient. He'll wait for
Yo, what?
he'll wait for Oliveira to throw his really
Doing it.
wide and leaning, like lunging right hand, and I think he's gonna catch him and submit him after he drops him. But I think Oliveira could also, catch him with one of those wild kicks, and he does mix it up too. He does have the reach advantage, so if he can use that well, he can also just, stay out of range, not get caught the whole fight. So we'll see what happens. But I got Gunnar Nelson on this one.
Gunner.
Gunny.
Good old gun.
And this one, probably one of the most exciting fights on this card. So one thing you do have to note, I'm sure everyone knows this, is that they fought 3 times, 2 times.
Yeah, 3 times. in
3
Muay Thai.
times in Muay Thai, and Valentina did win all 3 times. So what I felt from the little bit of tape that I saw from their fights was that Valentina really dominated the clinch. Whenever they did engage close range, I felt like she was able to control Joanna and basically throw her around.
They have tape on that?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's online. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Very low quality, but you can find it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
so
sure to watch that.
yeah, from what I saw, at least that's what I saw from the little bit of highlight that I saw. But I feel like just from what I saw versus Joanna now, I feel like her footwork is very different. Like she doesn't move the same way. She right now I feel like she takes a much more like kickboxing, boxing stance and like movement style, and I feel like Valentina still kind of has like that Muay Thai like high guard kind of stance. and she doesn't move laterally as much as Joanna does. Like Joanna before, when they were fighting in Muay Thai, she never moved laterally as much as she did with like the way she evades right now. But when she strikes, when she goes in, it's mostly linear. She doesn't really like do a lot of lateral side movement. It's really when she's like evading, and I feel like that's when she could get caught, is when she goes in to engage and they get in like the close range, and that's where Valentina imposes her game the best.
All right. Yeah, I think though Valentina will have a strength advantage.
Oh, definitely, and a wrestling advantage.
Yeah.
I think she'll be able to take Joanna down. I mean, she was able to take down like Amanda Nunes, who I think is better grappling than Joanna. So she'll probably be able to, judo throw Joanna pretty easily.
Yeah.
Judo.
I think she's the more powerful striker as well.
Yeah. I mean, look at her arms.
Just like me.
Yeah. So, but Joanna does have like the way higher output. I think Valentina really likes to look for that counter hook over the guard whenever people engage, and I think that'll be like probably the strongest punch that she'll probably land in this fight. When Joanna comes in with that very linear like 1-2, she'll probably catch her with the hook. And yeah, I mean, I got Valentina on this fight.
Me too.
I'm gonna go with Joanna.
I would like Joanna to win. I do like her as champion, but
I like Shevchenko more.
Shevchenko's better.
Yeah.
All right, and the most exciting fight on this card, the one
And
everyone's
now-
probably most excited about.
It's time.
I'm most excited for this card, or this fight for sure. I don't think we've seen a talent like Brian Ortega in the division in a while, or ever really. Someone who's like able to, or someone who has that level of like technical jiu-jitsu and skill, but who also has devastating knockout power. But Max Holloway is also, he's a champion. You can't count him out. And what do you got on this?
Well, just having Max Holloway's UFC debut, 20 years old, and then just going on a tear through the division, taking out pretty much everybody, and becoming the champion that he is, beating Aldo, who's a champion forever, in 2 bouts in a row. He finished him in both fights, and I think people are talking about Ortega more because he's more relevant and stuff. But Ortega's also like really good, so I think that this is like a really exciting fight.
Yeah,
like
there's no way you can tell what's gonna happen.
And
in
they're
this fight.
both
No,
in their
it's crazy.
prime. It's not some old washed up veteran. That
Yeah,
they're using
you know
to
what I
push
thought
some
was
guy.
funny was did you hear Max Holloway say they're trying to say this is like the new guy trying to come take
And
the
he's
belt
younger,
of the
yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. It was
That's
like,
what it's good though. It's 2 guys in their prime. It's not some old fighter that they're trying to just like
Like a
get some
crossroads-
young
Get out,
guy
like a
and
crossroads
bump him
fight,
up.
pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Like,
it's a good, like they'll probably have a rematch, and I think it's. Oh, sorry. It's just like Max Holloway's volume versus like he has to avoid getting in clinch situations.
yeah, and I
grappling.
mean that's mostly what he does in his fights, anyways. Every time he does get into a grappling situation, I feel like is when he has the other opponent hurt and he goes for the submission finish. I feel like other than that, unless he's defending a takedown or if he gets taken down, then he's not really a ground fighter. He's mostly a stand and bang kind of fighter.
Yeah, and he has to like hurt him in the clinch so that Ortega doesn't want to go for that either.
Yeah, did you see that one clip of how Brian Ortega likes to, or before he liked to do the
Yeah.
roll the punches off the shoulder, and then recently he's like turned that into like a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah, that shit was pretty sick.
but that opens up your whole body for a kick.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Max Holloway could definitely land some of those spinning body kicks that he throws
Yeah,
when he has him pressured up against the cage. But I think, yeah, Max Holloway's much more technical. in striking, and I don't think Ortega has the takedowns to be able to take Max all the way down.
Yeah.
But if Max does engage and get caught close, then yeah. So this
I
fight.
think both
this
guys
is
are
a crazy
dangerous on
fight.
the feet, so that's what makes it the crazy fight. It's not like Max Holloway just blows him out on
Yeah.
stand-up, yeah. So it makes it a really, really.
It's like a
interesting-
Tony Ferguson level for a person like me
Yeah.
that just wants to see blood and bang.
This will be good. This will be a great fight.
Yeah. Can't wait to see this one. All right, so
And I do
that
just want to
about
bring
wraps
up
the card.
that does. Yeah.
But what did you want to bring up, sir?
I was gonna bring up another card going on the same day, December 8th.
Okay.
But if you guys had any last comments on this card,
No, just really looking forward to this card.
so where are we watching it, boys?
We're gonna watch it here.
With Duho?
We'll just see
Yeah,
if Max
and
can put
Dexter.
on the pace or if Brian can.
I
Give
mean,
him
Max is
something.
definitely gonna put on the pace, but I mean,
But avoid getting.
yeah, Brian's never been in a 5-rounder though. He has been in a
finished,
yeah,
yeah.
he's never gone for a full 5
He-
rounds, so we
he's
don't know.
finished every fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know if he'll be able to keep up the pace with Max if it does get into those later rounds, which I
Finish
think
you.
it will. I think
And
this fight's gonna go the full.
One thing that we neglected, both guys have insane chins. So
yeah. I mean,
that
Max's
makes
Always-
could be
that's what
makes it
deteriorating
no,
a little
yeah.
bit, but yeah, both guys insane
no, Max is
cardio,
fine.
insane chin.
He'll be good.
Max yeah, I mean, I hope this fight happens first of all.
Dude,
This fight.
update show tomorrow if it does.
Yeah, I really hope this fight does happen. Who is it? Hanato? Is it Hanato or
What?
Renato?
I don't know.
Mosciano? Yeah, he's on standby for this fight because Max has had his recent.
Ortega has a submission win over him.
Yeah, yeah. But he's 14-1, right? Renato.
He
He's
has a
only
good
lost-
record.
Wait, what's
So,
wrong with Holloway?
Huh?
He's just had issues in his past fight. Everything is fine right now.
Yeah,
There's
everything
been
with
no
his.
news.
It's mostly when he tries to cut weight. I think he walks around
Dude,
like
it's already-
really heavy.
But
Something
for-
like 185.
yeah, that's what he was at before the Khabib thing.
That's crazy that he cuts that much weight. But I mean,
there's
they
been
do
no
start.
bad news, and we're very close. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
In the
kind of
other fights,
sketch,
though,
dude.
the bad
just
news
to-
did come out like a day before.
But
it
that's because of
happened.
New York Commission.
Yeah, and also he was like a last minute, like they just pulled him in. He's probably been preparing for this for
But, like,
a while now.
No, yeah, and then to be able to schedule all right, sign this contract. In your contract, it says there will be a backup in case I can't make weight. Like, what the fuck? That's his job to make weight. Make weight, bro. Like, if
No,
you can't
I
make
mean,
weight, then
a lot of these
go up
guys
in
are
weight,
stuff-
dog.
He was on track to make weight
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
it's your
fight before
fucking
too.
job.
It was the commission.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It was nothing against.
They should have
him.
let him try, but ultimately, I think it was a good decision.
No, great decision. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Right.
I mean, when the decision first came out, everyone was like, "Oh, what the hell?
That's
like,
not
you gotta let
champion-
him try. You
that's
gotta let
not
him get
champion
down to the
discipline,
weight."
though.
Dude, this one was a short notice fight.
Yeah, the one we're talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
That
He
one's
wasn't
like
even
12,
defending his
11-day
belt.
notice.
He was challenging for another.
Yeah,
belt.
but I mean, he's never missed weight before. The only times he has pulled out has been when the commission has made him pull out.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think we'll be able to get to see the fight.
Cool.
So,
Um,
yeah, it's
gotta
gonna be
remain
great.
positive. I don't know if I could take it after this year. this fight didn't
People
happen.
just keep pulling out.
Yeah. Guess that's the game.
All right. So that about wraps it up. Any last words?
The card, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Golden Boy Boxing has Facebook card on December 8th. It's free for everyone as long as you have Facebook. Check out Golden Boy Boxing, their page. Its feature is Rene Alvarado versus Carlos the Solution Morales. I work also on a morning radio show for Golden Boy, and we've actually had Carlos Morales on the show. A fun guy, cool guy. He actually owns a couple restaurants, or not owns, but he's a manager for a restaurant here in Eagle Rock, and then another one in by Chinatown in LA. Really good breakfast joints, guys. Check them out if got time. It's called Nick's Cafe. So, but the fight is gonna be a super featherweight world title eliminator. So the winner of this will go up to fight Alberto Machado. Morales has actually fought Machado before, and it was an amazing fight. Morales ended up coming out with the loss, but it was a contender for Fight of the Year last year. So looking forward to a rematch with that one. The card is also going to contain co-main event features Jonathan Thunder Navarro and Manuel Mendez. Navarro is a really explosive fighter. He was featured on Golden Boy's debut of their Facebook series at the Avalon here in LA. He fought Damian Allen, and Allen was kind of bringing the fight to him the whole time. And Navarro came out in I think like the 7th round and just surprised everyone and almost put Allen to sleep. It was a little scary. The ref should have stopped a little sooner. The undercard also features Hector Finito Tanahara against Roberto Manzanares. This is gonna be a really good fight. Both fighters are tall and lanky. Manzanares just coming off of a loss against Mercito Hesta. That was a really good fight in Fantasy Springs. Um, let's see who else. Joet Gonzalez, another native here of LA. Glendora, California, is going to be defending his NABO belt, featherweight champion. So that's going to be a good one. He's a really cool guy. I've had a chance to meet him and meet the whole Gonzalez team, so that's fun. Just a cool card. It's also going to feature the pro debut of the. It's going to be historical, kind of. First transgender fighter in boxing.
Wow. So
Yeah.
Female to male or
Female
male
to male. Yeah. So
Ah.
female to male. Patricio Manuel will be making his pro debut. He used to be a fighter in for female boxing as well. I think he was a champion in female boxing, and actually is now coming over to
Alright.
male boxing. And it's an interesting story. You know, I got to see a couple of interviews that he's done in pre-fight, like press conferences and stuff. And he said that growing up, you know, like he was a girl, but in his mind, you know, he just knew he was a boy. You know, he just kept telling himself he was a boy, but you know, society and his hormones and you know puberty didn't like agree with that. And finally, when he found out there was an ability, like a way for him not to feel so neglected or you know not to feel so confused, he took that opportunity and you know now he's making history. So props to him. Hopefully, he can pull off that win. And that's on Saturday, December 8th, and Golden Boy Boxing's Facebook Fight Night.
what's the venue? Or
The
the venue?
venue is
Fantasy
going to be
Springs.
Fantasy Springs in Indio, California, kind of by Coachella area, Palm Springs. Nice little getaway for the weekend. Tickets aren't expensive either, so if you're in the LA area, you want to get a nice little getaway for the weekend. It's like $25 tickets usually, and the venue is nice, intimate. Um, it's always a good crowd. It's loud in there, so seats and floor seats, so everyone's always like stomping on the bleachers, getting rowdy and stuff. And Facebook series, the Facebook fight nights are usually a lot more kind of like hip. Morales has fought. His last fight was a loss against Ryan Garcia, same venue. So that was really fun to see. A lot of younger environment for Ryan, and then you see a lot of the Mexicans going for Morales. So it was awesome to see that clash of true boxing fans and also like the more pop culture to see Ryan Garcia and whatnot. Ryan Garcia also going to be featured in the Canelo Fielding undercard. So
Hmm.
a lot to come in the end of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of exciting things happening. A lot of fights coming up. So
Tune in the next
Tune in.
couple weeks.
tune into the fights. Tune in back tune back in. I mean,
We'll
on
be here.
Saturday we'll be here discussing the after results of the fight,
Yep.
and yeah,
Post-fight
that's about
results.
it.
Try to get some sound bites of interviews that happened. A little bit of insight. So tune right in here
See if we can
into
get you
combo combats for the latest and greatest of the combat sports world. We'll be here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show and continue tuning back in. Thanks so much. For me, Bobby Diaz, Chasen Palick, and Justin Chen. JC. Just leave it at JC. That's the homie JC over there.
That's the homie JC.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everybody.
That'll be it. See y'all later. Peace.